made it downtown again, and today we're doing Chinatown, and because geographically and alphabetically next to it is Civic Centre, we're going to do that as well. So as with all these things, first order of business is to go and get some breakfast. Let's try Maxim Bakery and Pastries. So there we go, we've bought some pastries. Now we're going to find a location to eat these things. Let's go and cross this wonderful bridge. It says Winnipeg 1986 on it. This should be a nice spot. So what do we have? By the way, we're sitting over a fairly deep hole here. I got a green bean and salted egg something or other.
And I got this like whipped cream cone.
Okay, let's give it a shot.
Here.
Verdict? Very unusual. Not sure I like it. Oh, it's so clarty. Anyway, this is Chinatown and Civic Centre. And this is the walk we did around it. Again, the tracker is spazzing out on me. I don't know whether there's something downtown that makes it spaz out, but it looks like we're walking around like drunks, which probably makes us fit in very well. No, this is gross. Epic fail. Now, that promised to be a nice breakfast with this Chinese garden all to ourselves, but literally 30 seconds before we went to the seat, a bunch of hobos snagged it. So it must be time for the hobos to get up, and that pastry wasn't too pleasant, so there we go. We can say we've done Chinatown. Let's move on to Civic Centre. We're walking between the Centennial Concert Hall and the Manitoba Museum. There's like a little plaza here where it probably would have been better to have our pastries this morning. Doesn't appear to be any hobos here right yet, but never mind. I think this is a shortcut to where we want to go anyway.
Disabled one.
And here we find ourselves on the Red River. Looks like the docks are closed though today. Behold the glory of Civic Centre. Civic Centre has a few bars, a few restaurants to go to, and this one we've been to before on my son's 18th birthday, but seeing as we're in the neighbourhood, might as well go visit. Only if it's got a patio though. And here we are, the James Avenue Pump House again. Oh, and it has a patio. Let's go partake.
Considered to be one of the most sophisticated water supply systems in the world at the time. These massive pumps and gears weighing hundreds of tons were manufactured in England, Scotland, and the United States, where they were shipped to Canada and moved by rail to Winnipeg. There were no cranes like we have today to put equipment in place, so much of it was moved by horse-drawn block tack equipment. Because of the weight of these pumps, they are mostly installed below grade, so that they can be lifted out on the large blue columns that you see running throughout the building and the crane system that runs along them. This steel crane system was built first, and then the pumps were moved into place, and the brick building that you're sitting in was built around the equipment after it was installed. The pumps were powered by gas created by burning coal and oil, as there was no electricity or natural gas.
So unfortunately I didn't film the first swig I had of this because it would have been a classic, but this is absolutely disgusting. I don't know whether it's like pineapple, but syrup. Oh god, it's disgusting. I don't know whether I can manage it.
Dark Souls door.
Dark Souls door. Alright, so we've had the disaster with the pastries in Chinatown. We've had a disaster with the beer in Civic Centre. So I think we need to move on to somewhere else. That's both of them done, but I'm not ready to go home yet. So let's go elsewhere. Here's what we're going to do. Next on the list would have been the neighbourhood of Colony. And that is only about a mile away. So I'm going to walk down Main Street and then along Portage, and we'll go and see what Colony has. But on the corner of Main Street and Portage is a brand new Earl's. So I'm going to try a beer. I'm going to get the sour taste of that disgusting Sucrum's beer out of my mouth and try the new Earl's. So that's the plan, to reconcile, is that the word?
Reconcile.
Or to rectify the bodgers that we've had so far. Let's go to Colony. Oh, okay, we're not having any luck today. It's open, but the patio is closed because they're expecting rain. There must have been 400 tables in there, and there's only me and Eric coming in. They lost a customer. All right, we ended up at Brown Social House. Patio's open. Cheers. Brown's Social House was too good. Stayed there for 3 pints. Could have stayed there all day, but we have Colony to get to. It's about 3/4 of a mile down this street, which is Portage Avenue. So let's get to Colony. We have made it to Colony. See, it wasn't that far. And Colony is dominated by the University of Winnipeg. A ton of its, what do they call it, campus is in Colony. And the bottom corner is dominated by the Winnipeg Art Gallery. And this is the walk I did around it. Again, every time I'm downtown, my tracker spazzes out, but there must be something here that's causing that. Now this swanky looking portion right here, apparently, even though it's on all the brochures, is not the University of Winnipeg. This is the Collegiate for high school students. So it's a little bit of a fake university. We got to go through that gap over there. The University of Winnipeg was actually where my wife went to university. She majored in English and her minors were history and anthropology, and she did 3 of her 4 years at this university. And why did she quit university right near the end? Because she got a job that earns money and pays the rent. So although this whole area is probably very familiar to my wife, she never finished university, and no one has a problem with that because she's awesome. Alright, that's the university, but one of the things I've most looked forward to in Colony is going to a Vietnamese sandwich restaurant which is called Banh Mi King. Oh man, that was awesome. It made up for the failure in Chinatown, it made up for the failure with Earl's. Brown's kind of made up for it, but Banh Mi King was the icing on the cake. Delicious. Okay, let's go for a quick walk past the WAG and then head off home. Thank you, Chinatown. Thank you, Civic Centre. And thank you, Colony, for your hospitality.